안녕하세요, 여러분. Today I will talk about how to read the syllable with the final consonant. We just studied syllable reading with two elements, so consonant and vowel. Now we are learning consonant plus vowel and another consonant underneath. So as you can see here, two example syllables. Zero consonant, and it's also consonant, and E vowel, and then another consonant underneath, and also this is the same structure. However, this syllable sounds ip, and this one also pronounced as ip. Bu and pu are different as an initial consonant, but as a final consonant, uh, there's no difference as a single syllable reading. Okay, so it can be confusing, and I will talk about this stuff today. First, I want you to understand the syllable structure difference. It depends on what kind of a vowel you have. So if you have a vertically shaped vowel like a here, then the vowel goes to the right side of the consonant and final consonant placed underneath. And if you have a horizontal vowel like O here, then syllable looks this way. And if you have a combination vowel, so one horizontal vowel and one vertical vowel combined together, then looks like this. And here you see the sample syllables. However, the final consonant is always placed underneath, and the term in Korean term for final consonant is batchim. Batchim means base or foundation, so they're supposed to be placed underneath. Okay, so this is also writing stroke order. So you write from the initial consonant and vowel and final consonant. Okay. And here, these syllables pronounce 밤 and 손 and 왕. Okay, so 부 plus a, 바, and m underneath 밤, and s plus o, 소, and n underneath 손. And silent in the initial place, zero consonant, and or becomes wa, and then as a final consonant, this one has ng sound, sound. So it is 왕. Okay. So pronunciation. So you may notice seems there's a grouping. Okay, so simplification take place for final consonant reading. So these are the alphabets we have in Korean alphabet system. So 19 consonants. Some of the consonants crossed out. They are not used as a final consonant, so they crossed out, and all the rest can be placed underneath in a syllable, so final consonant, but pronunciation outcome is only 7 kind. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So only 7 sound is available. So not all the characters pronounced as it is. So as an initial consonant, they all sound different, right? Slight difference. 그, 끄, 크. But as a final consonant is placed underneath, then it sounds 읍 sound and 읍 sound and and 을, and this one is 읒. 읒. There are so many characters pronounced in this way. Okay, so let's practice this. Okay, so for example, so 그 plus 아, 가 is on top, so two elements, and then third element is here 그, and here 끄 and 크. But we cannot make a difference for single syllable reading. So it will be 각, and this one also 각, and this one also 각. We don't carry the sound just in English sense, English speaking sense. You may want to 각 or 각, 그, or kak like that. But the ending sound that you are leaving, then actually in Korean pronunciation system, you are creating another syllable. You are moving to the second syllable, but you have to finish it as a single syllable reading, so you don't carry the sound over. So kak, kak, kak. Okay, so no ending sound carrying over. And next one also kap, and this one is not kap, but kap. Okay, so you have to stop there. And double b is not used as final consonant. And next four pronounced as it is. So it's kan and kal, kam, kang. Okay, and next it is kat. So this one no problem. But and double d not used, and double z not used. But so many different kind of consonants are pronounced same. So this one is kat, not kat, kat. Okay, and this one is not kas, it is a kat. And this one is not gas, but it is a kat. If you are making ending sound, it moves to the next syllable. So that doesn't happen in Korean. So it is kat. And this one is not kaz, but kat. And it is not kats, but kat. And it is not kah, but kat. Okay, so it is all pronounced kat, 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 kat. So you may wonder, how can you then distinguish those spelling differences in context, right? So next. So as a single syllable, there's no sound difference for those three syllables, but in a sentence reading, it's different. So if the syllable, so sentences has multiple syllables and multiple syllables in a word, and if this final consonant is followed by the zero consonant, zero consonant means no initial consonant sound in the next syllable, then you can carry this ending sound to the next. So it will be, you don't separately read. If it is a one word, then you read together. So it's not kak-i, but kagi, kagi. And it is also kak as a single syllable, but together it will be kakki, because the carryover sound value is different. So this exact the sound, the consonant sound can be carried over, because then you are reading it as the sounds like the beginning of the next syllable. So kakki, and it will be kakki. So in sentence reading, those spelling differences will make a difference in sound. Okay. Now let's try to read the actual vocabularies, the Korean vocabularies with the final consonant sound. Okay, so final consonants syllable. And so these are the 7 sounds available. And actually, when you read it, this one is not initial consonant. You are using as a final consonant, then sounds like uk sound, okay, ending sound. And nu as a final consonant sound, it sounds like un, and ut, and up, and okay. So let's read one by one. So with this uk sound, this one is 그 plus a, and 그 underneath 각, 각, and 치 plus 에, and 그 underneath 책, and 부 plus a, and 그 underneath 박, 박, and this one 부 plus 여, and 그 underneath 벽, 벽. And next is 2 syllables. So this one has that designated syllable structure. So 부엌, 부엌. Okay. And next, 느 character as a final consonant sound is sound. So this one, 느 plus u and n underneath sound underneath, nun. And s plus a and n underneath, san, san. And s plus o and n underneath, 손. Okay. And this sound, ut. So this one, 그 plus o and ut underneath, 곧, 곧. And 무 plus e and ut underneath, mit, mit. And this one, zero silent plus o. So o plus s, this one also, it's very tempting to make a s sound, but it is ot. Okay, ot. And but by the way, if following is e, like a zero consonant e syllable, then o, she. So s sound can be carried over in the syllable reading, but single syllable reading will be just ot, ot. And two syllable reading, so this one also double short, also this is sound, sound. So e and then sound underneath, it, it. But next is ta, so itta, itta. However, when the this final consonant is followed by not zero consonant but another consonant, but it's a single character. But when you want to carry this over, but there's already consonant, then you cannot carry this sound over. You just read this, but more tense way. So tense sound become tense. Okay, even though spelling is a single, so it more naturally it다, it다. So sounds like da instead of ta. Okay, and this one 부 plus e and it underneath, 빛. And 급 plus o, go, and it underneath, 꽃, 꽃. And this is he, it. So who underneath, but it's still this sound. So he, it. And this is actually the name of the consonant who is the he, it. Okay. And with this as a final consonant, sound underneath. So 부 plus 어 and underneath, 벌, 벌. And 부 plus 우 and underneath, 불, 불. And 즈 plus 우 and underneath, 줄, 줄. And 푸 plus 아 and sound underneath, 팔, 팔. Okay. Next, this mu sound goes underneath, sounds like sound, sound. So s plus a and m underneath, 삼, 삼. And mu plus o and m underneath, 몸, 몸. And s plus u and m underneath, 숨. And 즈 plus a and sound underneath, 잠, 잠. And 츠 plus 우 and m underneath, 춤, 춤. Okay. Next, up sound. So 부 sound as a final consonant sound become up sound. So zero consonant, silent e. So e plus up underneath. So ip, ip. And 즈 plus e, g, and then up underneath, 집. And 스 plus 우, 수, and then up underneath, 숲, 숲. And silent and 여 and up underneath, 옆, 옆. And next, the last one is 응 sound. This one is initial place it is silent, but as a final consonant has 응 sound. So 그 plus 아, 가 and ng. So 응 underneath, 강. And 스 plus 아, 사 and ng underneath, 상. And 즈 plus o and 응 sound underneath, 종, 종. Okay, so that's how you read Korean vocabularies with the final consonant sound. And next, here I'm showing that sometimes we can have a two-letter final consonant, two-letter final consonant. So these are the available examples in Korean alphabet system. Okay, so those first two is just the double character. So we already practiced it in previous slide that goes with the single character, right? So this is uk sound, and this one goes with it sound. So this one you already know. But what about this different combination, right? So different combination, even even the same character, right? So those things, some characters, single characters cannot be pronounced as it is. There's no way to pronounce final consonant two different way, right? So because there's only 7 way to pronounce. So there's some simplifying rules, okay? So uh, we can divide rest of the consonant, final consonant of 2-letter consonant here with the r combination. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them are r combination, and rest are different. Okay, so you can divide with so other combination. Okay, so 4 of them, and r combination 7 of them. Okay, there's rules are a little bit different. So if it is not r related, okay, so r combined, then other things that you read with the first one. Okay, first one for the single syllable reading. Okay, so this one is the same character, so it is, you already know. So let's practice from this one. So this one is just this example you already know. So as a single syllable, you will read 닭, 닭, and following is another already consonant there, so you cannot carry over when you read it together, but make it tense. So 닭다, 닭다, you read it as 닭다. However, sometimes you will see this final consonant followed by zero consonant, then you can carry the sound over to the next. So 닦아요, 닦아요, that's how you read it. And similar way, this one also 같다, 같다. However, following is zero, then you carry the sound over. So 갔어요, 갔어요. Okay, 갔어요. 자, next. There's a 2 different character combination here. So it is not r combination. So you safely read with the first character. So it is 목, 목. However, in sentence reading, if following is zero consonant, then you can read both of them. So first syllable you read with the first character, and then second character you carry over. Okay, so it will become 목시, 목시. Okay, and so here single syllable reading, because it's not r combination, so you safely read with the first one, 갑, 갑. However, in sentence reading, you can carry the second one over. So it will be 값이, 값이. Okay. And next, so here, different combination, but first one you read with first, because it's not the combination, so an. However, this second one you cannot carry over because there's already consonant in place. Then just make tense. 안다, 안다. Okay. However, if following is zero consonant, then you can carry and read everything, right? So this one will be 안 and 즈 carry over. So 앉아요, 앉아요. However, sometimes some combination we have who here. Okay, so who is a special consonant. So that is aspirated consonant, and that is combined with the other simple plain consonant and make aspirated sound. So aspirated consonant, you know that the strong consonant, right, with lots of air. So the k, t, p, okay, and ch, those are so 4 aspirated consonant, and hu is actually aspirated consonant. So we have 5 aspirated consonant, and when hu is involved, then this first syllable you read with the first one, an, and then hu meets with d. So who meets with do. Do is soft and has aspirated version. So who makes this sound aspirated? So it will become anta. Okay, so that is different from other combination. Other combination, you always make tense sound, tense, tense. But when who is involved, then make aspirated. Okay, so it is not anta, but anta, anta. And who is followed by zero consonant, then this sound doesn't carry over. They cancel it. They canceled. So it canceled. So they are most close characters, and they become it. Who becomes silent. So you don't read it. So it becomes an, a, yo. But with reading together, n sound actually carry over. So anayo, anayo. Okay. 자, next highlighted yeah, darker because it's r involved and it's important here. Okay. 자, so when who the r combination final consonant, then you need to know the meaning of the vocabulary. The vocabulary you will build with meaning, right? Build up with the meaning. So if given vocabulary, this one is a single syllable, one word. So word for the meaning is a soil. So the word meaning is a noun. Okay, noun. Then root combination. The second one speak out. So it is not her, but hook, hook. Okay, so root combination is different. So hook. However, in sentence reading, this is double character followed by zero consonant, then you can separate them. And first root for the first syllable and 그 carryover. So 흘기, 흘기. Then you read everything, right? So 흘기. And here the same example. So 스 plus 아, 사 and 르. But there's a 무. So as a single syllable, and this one is a life, meaning is life. So it is a noun. So noun, then second one speak out. So this is a 삶, not 살, 삶. However, in sentence reading, we read everything. So 삶이, 삶이. Okay. 자, next. Next. 자, there are some vocabularies as you see here. 다 ending, 다 ending, 다 ending, 다 ending. If you are introduced a vocabulary that end in 다 as a dictionary form, that is either verb or adjective in Korean grammar. So Korean has the verb or adjective, they conjugate. So they have to have the base form or dictionary form, that is 다. Okay, but when you speak, then politely speaking, then the 다 goes away and polite ending will be attached. So they conjugate. So conjugate. So that's why they have a base form. So 다 is a meaningless tail for any verb or adjective. So here the root combination as a noun, the second one speak out, but as a verb or adjective, then first the root sound speak out. So it is 얄. Okay, so 얄. And this one can want to be carried over, but there's a consonant, so you make a tense. So 얇다, 얇다, and however, following is zero consonant, then you can read everything. So 얇아요, 얇아요. Here again, so if who is involved, then make aspirated. Okay, so this will be 알, and then who meets with do and become 트, 트. Okay, so 알타, 알타, not 알다, but 알타. And who followed by zero consonant, then sound cancels. So it's 알아요, but together 알아요. So 르 actually carry over. 알아요. Okay, so That's all for today, and hopefully this helps you understand better for how to read the syllable with the final consonant. 감사합니다. Happy practicing.